Hello beautiful souls, thank you for joining me today. I do hope you're well and you're managing to stay focused, believing and trusting in that deep inner knowing, the unexplainable love that is within you. So today I thought I'd come on here and talk about the Divine Masculine and if the Divine Masculine is spiritual or not. And the only person that can answer that is you yourself. And seeing that you're on a spiritual journey and you're one energy, my take on it is that the Divine Masculines are very spiritual. And I've worked with so many beautiful souls where they've shared that their Divine Masculine is spiritual by certain things that they said and the way they behaved as well. And certainly on my journey, I experienced my Divine Masculine as spiritual. And at the beginning of the journey, I would say my Divine Masculine was much more alert and aware than I was as well. But there is so much information out there that does get very confusing, and it brings so much doubt to us because some people say, oh no, the Divine Masculines aren't spiritual and they haven't got a clue what's going on, that they're not awake. And I know for so many of you that's what's happened for you as well, where your Divine Masculine is spiritual. So spiritual, what I wanted to cover as well, because being spiritual is being your true authentic self. It doesn't mean to say that you've got to start doing yoga or you've got to do certain things to become spiritual. You are a natural spiritual being, but we come away from our true self, being the unconditional love that we are, because of program and conditioning, things that we believed for such a long time, that separation that we feel from God, from love. And that is all changing on this journey. So being spiritual is you just being the truth of who you are, the love that you are. So it doesn't mean to say that you've got to start doing certain things or stop doing certain things. You know what is meant for you. You know that everything that you do in moderation, with balance, life does run smoothly for you. It doesn't mean to say that you have to be so strict and the things that we say to ourselves at times because we think that we'll be a better person if we do this, we do that. The whole point is what God, the universe, is asking of you is for you to be yourself, to be aware of yourself as well. So I thought I'd share with you some things that happened that were really special, that really stood out on my journey at the beginning. And I think that you'll find it very special as well. So at the beginning of my journey, when my Divine Masculine come in and activated me, as many of you know, I was married with 4 children. And before my Divine Masculine come in, I was thinking that I was in this happy marriage and that I was going to be in that marriage for the rest of my life. And I thought I was happy at that time, but that completely changed when my Divine Masculine come into my life. He awakened me to where I was unfulfilled and how I wasn't living my life in my truth, putting myself first, and activated so many deep wounds that we both share, but the Divine Masculine is the one that activates that. So I thought I'd share with you a special moment that I had with my Divine Masculine where he was sharing so much sacred wisdom. That's all I can say about that. Is so much wisdom, and he was obviously being guided at that time to do it. Maybe he was unaware, maybe he was aware, I'm not sure. I've never asked him, but it was a time with my Divine Masculine. There's my daughter and myself. We were sitting at the table and we were all feeling very emotional, and I was still feeling very confused about what it was that I was feeling, because still to this day I can't put it into words, the love that I'm experiencing and what I experienced when my Divine Masculine come into my life. So my Divine Masculine was quite emotional as well and was very tearful at the time and listening to music. So I was sitting there, but I was being very open. There was denial still happening with me, where I was denying that actually I was in love with my Divine Masculine. I wasn't allowing myself to actually admit that to myself, but I was being open that I was experiencing this love that I've never experienced before, and you can imagine how guilty and how ashamed I felt at that time because I was married. But because it was so different, I felt comfortable about sharing, about this love. So even in front of my daughter, I was saying, and my divine masculine, I was saying, what is this love? What is it about you? What is it that I love? It's so intense. Why am I feeling this way when I'm married and I've got children? I just wanted some answers, and I just wanted to be open, and I needed reassurance. I felt as if I needed reassurance at that time, what was happening to me. But obviously nobody understands apart from my divine masculine that was in the room knew what I was experiencing. So I just kept going over and over saying, what is this? Why do I feel this way? Because it isn't one particular thing that you feel for your divine masculine. It's beyond this world. It's beyond words, as you all know. And it is very frustrating for us at times because we can't put it into words and we can't explain to anybody. We all looked at each other and no one knew what to say back to me. But then, as I said, my divine masculine was very emotional, very tearful at the time as well, because he was having to go back to his own country. His visit was coming to an end. So he stood up and he started to walk out of the room, and he looked at me and he said, this is something that you've got to work out for yourself. And he was very cold. He was very distant. And he left the room. So I was left with so much confusion, and deep within me I knew that he was sad and he was feeling the way that he was. He was crying, tearful because of what was happening to him and what was happening to me, this love, and the fact that he was having to leave. But the fact that he said, you've got to work this out for yourself. So you can imagine the fear that come up within me, knowing that there's so much for me to actually face and sort out. I still really didn't understand what he was saying because I was the one that was asleep. So coming back to the divine masculines being spiritual, and if the divine masculine is awake or not, my divine masculine is certainly awake. So as my journey's unfolded, there's been many times where it's looked, in the 3D, in the physical, that my divine masculine is asleep and he's unaware and he's not actually doing anything. But that isn't the truth. Those are the illusions that I've had to see through, and to see the bigger picture. I knew deep within me he was very awake, even though it seemed like the complete opposite in the 3D, in the physical. And that's why I always say to you, it is so important that you see through these illusions, you see through the pain, and trust in that deep inner knowing, the unexplainable love that's within you. You know the truth. But at times, the divine masculines reflect back to you the things that you do have to work through. There's times when we're aware of it, and some of it we're so unaware of. And the divine masculine is playing out your subconscious, and you're the conscious one. So whatever you have absorbed, what you've believed, and how you've been acting like a robot, being unaware of what you've been doing in your life, that is reflect back to you. Your fears, the lack, all of those lower dense energies. Your divine masculine does reflect that back to you. You're the only one that knows if your divine masculine is awake and if they're spiritual, because of your own experience. And it is very lonely, because we're left to it. We have to trust ourselves, because our journey isn't the same as anybody else. It's unique, and there is so much support, but there is so much misinformation that's been pumped out on the internet, on different platforms as well. So you've got to trust in what you already know and to trust your journey. Your journey, my journey, they're so different. There's similarities, but they're so different. The purpose of the journey is the same, and the purpose of the journey is a journey of self, of you coming back to the truth of who you are and removing what no longer serves you, what you're no longer aligned with. You're learning to live your life from soul. And when we come from mind, ego, when we're wanting to know what the Divine Masculine is doing, what they're not doing, and wanting to know and control everything in our life, that's when we experience pain. So you only know if this physical person that's come into your life, if they're spiritual or not. My feelings on that is that they are spiritual. So if you have come across information about the Divine Masculine not being spiritual, or they haven't got a clue, they don't feel anything, they don't know what's going on, that isn't my truth, and I'm very sure that that isn't your truth of what's been going on in your journey either. So trust yourself. That's what I wanted to make clear to you today, and I hope me sharing with you what my Divine Masculine said to me is so precious. Those words that he said to me, you need to work it out for yourself. And I have. How amazing is that? I have worked it out, and I am now here smiling and actually giggling to myself about the fact that he said that, because at the time I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it very supportive or helpful at all. I just wanted to run from the situation, and I just didn't understand what he was trying to say. I just felt this coldness, and it wasn't a nice experience when he actually said it. And he said many things to me, where he was the one that was guiding me, and he was the one that was making me aware, and it did activate me, some of the things that he was saying. So I hope this has been supportive, and it's made you smile and taken you back to some of the times of things that have happened to your Divine Masculine. If you would like support on your Awakening Twin Flame journey, I am doing private readings and I'm doing one-to-one sessions. But everything that you do need to know is in the description box down below. And I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're living in this beautiful world. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, because it really does help my channel grow. That's if you feel connected to me and you understand me. And I'm sending you so much love, my support, my strength and light, and I love you so very much. See ya!